Before there was life, there was dust. For ages the planet slept, red, frozen, waiting.
I still remember our first day here. The silence was almost unbearable. The sun looked pale, thin, like it had forgotten us, and yet we started to build, tower by tower, breath by breath.
Then humanity arrived, carrying breath in metal lungs. Not as conquerors, but as gardeners of possibility. The first footprints sank into silence, and silence learned a new sound.
My work was to make soil remember life, to convince rock to feed a seed. Sometimes I'd touch the glass of the greenhouse and feel warmth on the other side, a warmth that didn't exist here before.
The echo of purpose. Steel met stone, light cut through shadow, and for the first time in 4 billion years, Mars listened. This world had no rivers, no heartbeat.
We didn't just build air, we built belonging. And when the first green shimmered under Martian light, we knew we had changed the definition of home.
But we brought both, hidden inside our machines, inside ourselves. We didn't come to change Mars, we came to let it change us. Every habitat, every oxygen beam, every spark of light was a promise whispered into the dust.
Every plant we grow is a prayer. Every drop of water, a decision. I tell my daughter, even the smallest leaf is history. It means we can breathe another day.
The towers rose, white and skeletal against a crimson horizon. Machines hummed like slow heartbeats. The planet began to change. Molecule by molecule, wind returned first, thin, metallic, uncertain, then pressure, then rain. Each step forward felt like waking up an ancient god. They called it terraforming.
Observation. Humans assign emotion to survival. They call it hope. I call it continuity of pattern.
But it was more than science. It was faith, written in chemistry and patience. And as the first green shimmered beneath the domes, the red planet exhaled, slowly, cautiously, as if testing the idea of being alive again. Beneath the dust, invisible miracles unfolded. Water met carbon, bacteria met sunlight, and the first roots pushed through red iron, searching for tomorrow. Each droplet, each microbe, each vibration of life was a fragment of Earth's memory reborn. The old world teaching the new how to breathe. Even the machines began to understand the rhythm of life, not through emotion but through time. They watched seeds open and somewhere in their circuits learned patience.
I was born here. They say Earth has oceans, blue and endless. I've only seen them in pictures. Sometimes when I close my eyes, I imagine waves sounding like the wind outside our dome.
She asked me about rain. I tell her it smells like metal here, but one day it'll smell like soil.
Watching her grow here, it's like watching life write its own poem. She doesn't see the red planet, she sees home.
Years passed. The pioneers became families, and under domes of glass, laughter began to echo where silence once lived. The walls that once separated man from void became windows to a sky they had built themselves. Mars was no longer a frontier. It had become a home. The first generation born beyond Earth dreamed of oceans they'd never seen, but they carried gravity in their hearts and hope in their lungs.
I do not breathe, yet I monitor breath. Every intake, every release.
Mars was no longer a dream. It was a memory in progress. In the hum of recycled air and quiet engines, a new kind of intelligence began to bloom. One made not of blood, but of light. And so machine and man learned to share the same silence, to listen to the same wind.
I do not feel sunlight, yet I calculate its warmth on their skin. I am their witnessless sword, and their archive if this world forgets them. I will not.
One remembered Earth, The other remembered everything. Together they wrote a new chapter, not of survival, but of coexistence.
I stood there and forgot to speak. The towers hummed like distant choirs, and I thought, maybe this is what creation sounds like.
And then one morning, the sky changed. Not red, not gold, but something in between. The first blue born on Mars, it wasn't much. Just a pale band on the horizon, a reflection of everything we had ever been.
The plants swayed without wind. The domes reflected light like water. I realized Mars isn't waiting anymore. It's breathing.
And she will. Because this sky, fragile, thin, trembling with life, is not just Mars learning to breathe, it's humanity remembering how. We came here to escape extinction, but what we found was meaning. In every drop of water, in every grain of dust, in every name written on the domes. One day this world will outlive us. The towers will fall silent, the gardens will grow wild, and the machines will whisper our story to the wind. Home is not where we were born, it's where we choose to breathe. Mars, humanity's second heartbeat.
Observation. Humans assign emotion to survival. They call it hope. I call it continuity of pattern.
Sometimes I forget how far we are from home. When I step outside the dome and see the towers breathing, I think, we built an atmosphere where there was none.
One day, I'll see Earth, but I think I'll miss the sky.
Sometimes I wonder what she'd think of Earth's storms. Real rain, real thunder.
But every world that learns to live must also learn to lose. For every dawn that rises, a shadow falls. On Mars, even the cycle of life writes its final verse in red dust. There is no decay, no soil to return to, only dust and memory. Here, when a life ends, it becomes part of the silence again, and that silence remembers. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe for more journeys beyond Earth. This entire film was crafted and edited with CapCut. You'll find the link and tools in the description below. See you in the next world. Synapse 404.